conscious souls, chosen ones, empaths. Do you realize how much thought goes into a Hoover? Some of you take these calls that you have. They've got your belongings and they have to come and collect it. Or the private number call, or the fake profile. Some of you ignore some of these things, and they're very, very, very something that should be taken very seriously. Okay, because there's a lot of thought that's gone into their strategic attempts. All right, remember, they don't function like you or me. All right, they function on a different wavelength. So by them functioning on this demonic wavelength, this negative force wavelength, whatever you want to say it is, they don't approach situations like the norm. So everything's got mixed meaning. The whole relationship you were in, not just romantic relationships, but all types of relationships, there was mixed, they kept guarded what they truly thought, everything was concealed, basically. Okay. And that's not to say that they disliked you or anything like that. Like they were fond of you, but they burn out because they're unappreciative. They don't appreciate what it is that you offer when you're around them. And it's when you go away, do they start to realize. So this is why, after serious thought, serious facing reality, they've gone out there after you and faced reality of the world without you. All right. That's what you need to know about yourself. You kept them protected. You kept them you kept them engaged. Okay. You're an engaging person, if that's the right description. Okay. In other words, it's supply. Okay, but that's something you need to take seriously as well, of what supply is. Okay, because it's a life energy, this supply, it helps them function, it helps them, their mind calibrate, it helps them see correctly, right? So please, after they've done this Hoover to you, all right, they're going to, and you reject this Hoover, okay? Or you don't notice it. That's why I'm saying for you to look back on the things that have happened. Some of you think you haven't had a Hoover, and you've had a Hoover. They get deeply, deeply offended and very, very vengeful, because this well thought out plan of theirs was meant to lead to winning you back round. And this decision of theirs to Hoover you was meant to be the answer to their problems they're facing. Okay. They see you as someone who answers their problems initially. Then they go through the phase of devaluation, of when they don't appreciate you whatsoever because they're unappreciative. And then when you're out of their life, then they go through the re-idolization phase. So this is something that happens. This is why these Hoovers come out after years apart or whatever like that. This is why they'll call you on private number. They'll make fake profiles. They'll spy on you. They'll do all of these things, and they really try to figure out some sort of plan. So for those of you that haven't had a Hoover at all, maybe the narcissist is in the midst of the plan. Okay. And I'm just giving you that as an awareness, but you don't want, you reach a place where you don't want to hear from them. Okay. You don't want to hear from them. You're sickened by them. And that's the direction that you all need to go in. I don't like a lot of you as well. Some of you that have had no Hoover whatsoever is because they know they fucked up and they don't know how to approach you at all. At all. You see, they've been exposed. It's like a vampire in daylight. They don't like it. They don't like the light. They're exposed. Your light in the spiritual realm, your light is shining on their darkness. Okay. So when they're around you, it brightens up their image. I hope you're with me on that. You see, it's happening in the spiritual realm. You're a being of light. You're a conscious soul. You're an empath. You're a chosen one. And your light shines onto their darkness, and around you, their energy is enhanced. Everything's enhanced around you. You need to know that. You need to know that. You see, what you gotta understand about the path, I think, maybe I'm wrong. All right, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like the path that for the beings of light is to realize life, you are fulfilled without the company of others. Okay. I think that's a huge part to really, you've been in these dysfunctional relationships, these romantic relationships, these family units, these friends. And really it from these experiences, it's not, some people can say hermit mode, rolling solo, solitude, whatever. But really, it's about finding yourself in this world. And I'm telling you, you don't realize what this energy is. Okay. Look at what you might do at work. Okay. Or at the gym or whatever. You're covering a lot of ground with the energy that you're using, right? And they pay for your energy, They pay for your energy to, do physical labor, office work, whatever, corporate work, whatever. It's a demanding role in a job, right? Now, the thing is, when you're doing that and you're tied up with a narcissist or a toxic individual or a group of friends, right? You're taking your energy away from what you would put into work or your life and everything like that. And you're putting it into other people. This is quite deep stuff, right? But I hope some of you start resonating with this. And what happens is you go through these abrupt endings of relationships, real dark night of the soul stuff. Okay. The empath, the chosen one, the conscious soul goes through these things. Okay. To find themselves in a world where they realize that majority of people are messed up. They have agendas, they have motives, and they have that. And you was actually very, very deeply asleep the whole time. So I don't want you to fret or panic in these situations if you're spending the holidays alone or, you're at home with a cat, right? And people say, oh, you're a cat person, a cat man or a cat lady or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't look at it like that. You see what I mean? Don't look at it like that at all, because really, as much as you hear me say most people are toxic, when you've been alone, you know how to select people more appropriately to be around. And then when you're around negative energy, you actually start to say to yourself, right, that's not a good path. You start to see it more clearly. And sometimes we fall into error to learn from the right. You see what I mean? We learn what's right from our errors. Okay. So this is what it's about. And really finding yourself. And if you have a family unit or you have a friend or you have good people in your life, then treasure those people that you do have. Okay. The real people that you do have. That's something that you should, don't waste your time on these other people. So all I'm saying is I know I went off topic there, but look, there's a valid point I was making, you shine your light on their darkness, right? And it really does brighten up the world, and that's at the expense of your energy, and that is their life, that is their life support. A lot of you are a crutch, something to lean on, and you really build these people up. And when they get back out there, they realize they messed up. So look, they're going to crumble. They're going to go downhill, right? Very rapidly, no matter what is appearing on the surface, no matter what is appearing on the surface. And that's why I said mentally crumble, because they're going to go through this within their own world. They're going to be mentally crumbling, but remember they're living a lie. Okay. They're living a lie. They're going to make everything seem like they're all right. But they're thinking of a plan if you haven't had a Hoover already. And a lot of you have had Hoovers already, you haven't realized. And they take that as a rejection when you ignore those Hoovers. So please embrace what you are. Don't fall into the depths of despair if you're alone. Okay. All of you could occupy company if you wanted to, in a friendship, in a romantic relationship, in whatever, right? You don't need to fret or panic about being alone. Honestly, it's your superpower. I want some of you to start embracing that. Really, I've spoken to people that have done rapid turnarounds in channeling their energy into creating a better world for them and their families, or them and their people around them, the good people, you know, and that's what it's about. So we have to keep striving. And thank you so much for listening today. I really appreciate the support. Please book a session if you'd like to. If you'd like to donate or support to the channel, you can. Check out Zion Music and check out Zion Spiritual. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.